For generations, Ardco Equipment has been providing Acadiana with the finest off-road equipment in all the Gulf Coast. Remember, when the only road is no road, it's Ardco Equipment.
Raymond Parsh III here, host of RP3 and Company on Acadiana Sports Station 103.7 Game. Day one is in the books here at SEC Media Days in Hoover, and boy, what a day it was. Start off with Commissioner Greg Sankey making an announcement that surprised a lot of folks, that the future sites of the SEC Media Days will not be in Hoover or Birmingham or even in the state of Alabama. He made the announcement that next year's SEC Media Days will be in Atlanta, back at the College Football Hall of Fame where it was at last year, when for the first time in the SEC Media Days history it was not held here in northern Alabama. He makes that announcement, and then he makes another one right after it saying that in 2021, SEC Media Days is going to Music City. It's going to Nashville, which turned a lot of people's heads, and some disgruntled reporters and some folks here on Radio Row and in the main media area weren't too thrilled about it. My thoughts are this. I think they see the NFL draft model, where the NFL decided to take the draft out of New York City and take it to other cities, Chicago, Philadelphia, Nashville. And they saw how much bigger, better it became. It became a cultural event. They have a great thing here. I think they're going to use this as a mode of a traveling event where it's going to go through the footprint of the SEC. Don't be surprised if you see future SEC Media Days after it goes to Atlanta, after it goes to Nashville. Could it go to New Orleans? Sure. Could it go, I don't know, any place in Florida? Yes, absolutely. Hell, could it go to Houston? There's no telling what the SEC wants to do with this. I think the sky's the limit, but I do think the SEC Media Days spending all of its time here in Hoover and Birmingham may be coming to the end. Another thing that stood out to me was the reception of Kelly Bryant. That is the new Missouri quarterback. Now, Missouri's facing a couple different things. They have to worry about a postseason ban that they're trying to appeal from the NCAA. But Kelly Bryant, former starter at Clemson, led them to 12 wins 2 seasons ago in an ACC championship and a berth in the college football playoff. Transfers, entered the transfer portal, came to Missouri. I think Missouri could be a sneaky team. I think it bodes well for Kelly and that team, the Tigers of Columbia, Missouri, that he was invited to the SEC Media Days, that he's even here. It tells me that he's already won the locker room. The response by his teammates and his coach here during SEC Media Days was overwhelmingly positive. Missouri has been down. Don't be surprised if you see them with Kelly Bryant sneak up on some teams and possibly cost some of those teams in the SEC East a chance of winning that division. Florida, surprisingly, was somewhat ho-hum. People were excited to talk to Felipe Franks. Once again, this is a record-setting SEC Media Days where there's 9 quarterbacks here. Felipe Franks, a lot of people are paying attention to him. Dan Mullen, things have gotten salty between Florida and Georgia. They're rivals, obviously, but also Florida and LSU. But really, there was not a lot of buzz about Florida, which was odd. They did have the largest number of fans in the lobby here at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. LSU closed the day strong. Edo and company, and pretty much followed the script. Ed Orgeron talked about how they were going to block out the noise. Same thing they did last year. Remember last year, they came here, they were projected to finish 5th in the SEC West. Ed O was on the hot seat. National media was saying that he wasn't a very good coach. And then they turn around, they whoop up on Georgia, they win 10 games, they win the PlayStation Fiesta. And now, here they are with a ton of buzz. Paul Feinbaum's talking about them beating Alabama this year. They're talking about being a contender for the college football playoffs. Edo said it in his press conference, blocking out the noise. They're taking the same mentality, same mindset they had last year for this season. It hasn't changed at all. Joe Burrow, of course, held court. Lloyd Cushenberry held court, but everyone wanted to talk to Grant Delpit, and he talked a lot about living up to being one of the best DBs at DBU. He talked about reaching out to former players and having to rise to the occasion to keep LSU having that moniker of DPU. Edo also talked about a couple things that they needed to improve on. Pass protection, brought that home a couple of times during his press conference. He also talked about the defense. Run defense needs to be better. He said that their run defense averaged giving up nearly 170 yards last year. That's not championship run defense, Edo said. He talked about that. I also asked him about Tyler Shelvin. He's the local product, remember, from our Northside High and Notre Dame Crowley star. He had weight issues early on in his career. He got some playing time last year. He really came on late. He said that he's down to about 360 pounds now. He's playing at a higher level, and that they expect him to be in competition in fall camp. So, first days in the books here at SEC Media Days, presented, powered by our friends at RP3 Equipment. I want to thank them for sponsoring us. We will be back here again, live on the air, 6 to 9 for RP3 and Company, right here on Acadiana Sports Station 1037 The Game. And make sure to continue checking back in with us at 1037thegame.com for more stories and more videos.